Not good for Rashee Rice or Rashee Rice owners. News breaking just a little bit ago that Rashee Rice, who derailed our rookie running back show, that will be probably better in a recorded upload anyway. We'll do that tomorrow morning. But Rashee Rice is being accused of what is being described as 8 years of domestic abuse, allegedly. Innocent until proven guilty, but this guy has pretty much not given us a lot of room for grace or trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been in so much trouble and his decision making is so poor with the off the field situation, with even all the positives and the great, talent that he is physically on the football field. All the good stuff we've said about him, we were still very critical of his decision to cowardly run off the freeway with his entourage after causing a massive multi-million-dollar pileup on the freeway. Now he's being accused of 8 years of domestic abuse, and his ex-girlfriend is posting photos and saying enough is enough, locking me out of the house in 14-degree weather, cutting up clothing and shoes and leaving her nothing, and all kinds of stuff. And the photos posted are not good, and there's a chance that this thing doesn't cause any sort of suspension or whatever, and there's a way that this thing could derail his entire career. It's hard to know because these players do get away with a lot, but this is horrible. Now, I will tell you that if this goes the direction or even sniffs like it's going in the direction that it could go in, the Chiefs are worried about this. They don't know what's in store for Rice. And he has we talked about this on our previous show, that the reason we couldn't rank him in the same class as Lamb and all those guys when we talked about the ranking the other day was that he continues to disappoint, and he hasn't yet completed that full elite season. Something keeps coming up. He seems like a professional disappointer, and this exactly fits the bill. Now, there are a lot of people hitting social media calling for him to be removed from the league, cut from the Chiefs. These are all things that could gain momentum or not gain momentum. A lot of people are very much about the innocent till proven guilty, but on this kid who's already shown us that we can't really trust him, we can't trust his decision making, it is hard not to give the alleged victim more of the benefit of the doubt than the guy that we've seen absolutely continue to screw up his life. So we're talking about Rashee Rice. We're talking about the risk in fantasy football. Of course, we are the fantasy football show. We can chew gum and talk at this and walk and talk at the same time. We're talking about Rashee Rice, who derailed what was supposed to be a top 5 rookie running back show, which will still end up occurring tomorrow morning in probably a better video upload that's edited and ready to roll. Top 5 rookie running back video. That will be tomorrow, because now we're here, unfortunately, talking about this guy right here, Rashee Rice. The fantasy football show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So what's going to end up happening, as I started to say, and I derailed my own comment, the Chiefs are going to draft a rookie wide receiver. The Chiefs were in a spot to maybe draft Jeremiah Love. They're now drafting a rookie wide receiver. They're now going after Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, one of these rookie RB, free agent RBs, or potentially trade partner. They get in talks with a trade partner and swing a deal with somebody, even if it's Breece Hall. They're bringing in, if I had to guess, their running back via free agency or trade, and they're drafting with their number 9 overall pick. They're drafting one of the top 3 wide receivers in the 2026 NFL draft. That is probably what is going to happen. Let me show you the draft board right now. The Chiefs are drafting at this number 9 overall draft slot. This is really good for Lemon. This could be potentially Tate. Tate fits the bill, I believe. If I had to guesstimate which wide receiver would land on the KC Chiefs, it would have to be I would say Tate at this moment. Lemon would be decent. Tyson's amazing. The Chiefs are going to draft a rookie wide receiver at this 9 pick. I'm not certain of it, but I'm feeling pretty damn confident that Tyson, Carnell Tate, or potentially Mekhi Lemon will be drafted. These are the top 3 wide receivers. If anybody didn't know, Jordan Tyson, probably my favorite of the 3. You'll see videos when I break down the top wide receivers. There is a tier break between, in my opinion, the top 2 and the 3rd. And then there's a big tier break between the 3rd wide receiver and everybody below. So it's kind of like one tier, 1, 2, 3, with a slight tier break between 2 and 3, just a slight dotted tier break, and then a huge gap in tier break between the top 3 rookie wide receivers and everybody else. So we're probably looking at a KC Chief team most certainly exploring the drafting of a rookie wide receiver, because this guy does not feel like he's going to be able to support a full career, a full set of stats year in and year out, full play season. Rice is a disaster right now, and it's constant disappointment with the kid. Constant. He can't keep himself out of trouble or on the field, whether it's injury, whether it's whatever. Tyson, Chiefs, fantastic. Let me put all these guys on the screen. This is Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate is a fantastic wide receiver that certainly played in the shadow of one of, if not the best wide receiver prospect to ever come out of college in Jeremiah Smith, that has not yet come out of college and can't come out of college. This guy has to come out of college before Jeremiah Smith, because Jeremiah Smith will be the number 1 overall wide receiver, hands down, no question whatsoever. But living in Jeremiah Smith's shadow, this kid, Carnell Tate, continued to excel and play in a way that I think is very conducive to how the Kansas City Chiefs operate and need this type of wide receiver back to replace Rashee Rice. So what Rashee Rice wide receivers in this class? I'd say a combination of Tyson, Tate, and also Mekhi Lemon. They're all very, very, very good options. Where is my Lemon graphic when I need it? There it is. These are the 3 wide receiver options for the KC Chiefs because of this man right here. His inability to make good decisions. I know I'm drawing some assumptions here. I know I'm not necessarily letting this thing fully play out, but part of me doesn't need to. I'm not a court of law. You know, I'm not responsible for taking away any of his rights. That is all very, very much, I believe, no matter what the accusation is, people shouldn't have any sort of legal repercussions based on accusations, because you are truly innocent in this country until you're proven guilty. And I love that about our country, and that's how our country should mother freaking stay.
Mashed potatoes!
However, we are watching this situation unfold inside an organization that can make certain decisions preemptively, an organization that says you do have to carry yourself to a higher level to be in the organization. No one's saying you take away his freedoms without it, being proven guilty. It's innocent till proven guilty outside in the real world, and I totally 100% Smitty approve on that. But there is a time where the league needs to say, paid leave. You're not paying him. He's paid leave, but he is on the commissioner exempt list. This is probably what needs to happen. Commissioner exempt list, and innocent till proven guilty, paid leave, forced to not be at the facility. You're paid until you're proven guilty or proven innocent, then you are reinstated. But at this point, this is where it probably needs to go. Now, will it? I don't know. Will the commissioner do nothing and sit back? I'm sure they're doing their own investigation. But for those that haven't seen, there's photos online that this woman's posted and says 8 years of photos, abuse, bruises, all kinds of stuff posted online. Some of this stuff can get, refuted. Some of it could be not accurate. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to suggest that what this individual posted is real. I don't have any evidence that it's not. I only have my opinion, and my opinion is I don't trust this man. My opinion is I don't know what to think anymore about his value. And honestly, any league where you have him, you're flirting with right now a chance he never plays again or nothing ever happens and he ends up playing full seasons, never has any sort of suspension. We're teeter-tottering in a weird space where we've seen the NFL with the Alvin Kamara situation. Nothing happened to him but a slap on the wrist. Now, that was a dude fighting a dude. This is different when it becomes domestic. The other thing you got to important note that people don't report on properly is when something is domestic. The moment that it's domestic, the DA gets involved. The moment there's a domestic allegation versus, let's say, even if it was a man fighting a woman at a bar or something, and there was a strike that took place, man striked woman, of course, the police are going to look at it. The DA and this situation immediately gets investigated from the highest level when there's domestic abuse involved or allegations of domestic abuse. This is why you hear sometimes when there's false accusations, somebody might say to the police because they're coached by somebody, hey, let them know that you dated, you were together, and he did this, and then the DA will look into it. Then it'll be investigated. It will not just be, are you pressing charges? Oh, he's going to settle out of court. That can't happen. As soon as it becomes domestic, it's not up to the victim anymore. So that's where the problem lies, is Rashee Rice can't wiggle his way out of this, even if let's say he's innocent. Let's just say he's innocent. He's still in trouble because this is now going to be looked into. And my guess is even if this alleged victim is lying about this, not lying about this, I'm not saying she is lying about anything. I don't know. This is my opinion. I'm giving you a hypothetical. Let's say she's lying about a lot of it. Does anybody in their right mind think that some of her story isn't at least true? At least some of it? Because raise your hand in the chat if you believe that some of her story, a little bit of it has to be true. He's going to be in trouble. They're going to investigate this thing. And the fact that it was domestic means that the DA will get involved. And that's going to be a problem for him. And that means that the KC Chiefs have to make a decision with their number 9 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft, where they hold the best optimal type of spot to grab one of the 3 wide receiver monsters of this class. And you can almost guarantee that's not Jeremiah Love anymore. That is Carnell Tate. That is Jordan Tyson. That is maybe Mekhi Lemon. That is one of the top 3 wide receivers. If one should be so lucky to fall, who knows how this draft goes, because you might have Cleveland grabbing one. You might have the Giants grabbing one. Some have suggested Arizona, but that's not going to happen. They got too many wide receivers anyway. But people like the cause controversy. Oh, the Cardinals are going to trade MHA. They'll draft Mekhi Lemon. That's what a lot of people want to insinuate, this and that. But you're looking at the Giants and the Browns, but also the Washington Commanders are very, very, very likely to explore and kick the tires on a wide receiver. So we could have Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, and Mekhi Lemon go 5, 6, 7, and the Chiefs get left out to dry. You just don't know. It is that kind of wide receiver class where there are 3 standouts, just like there is a standout with Jeremiah Love, where Jeremiah Love could go to this landing spot right here in the New Orleans Saints situation. That would be absolutely phenomenal. Jeremiah Love going here, could go here. Jeremiah Love could go to Washington. It's always possible. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it feels very likely that Jeremiah Love is a New Orleans Saint. It's very likely that Cleveland, Giants, Washington, KC will all consume the 3 wide receivers to some degree. That's what we're here to talk about. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Very unfortunate. We got a super chat here. I don't know. Are my eyes seeing this right? Husseini dropping a $100 hauler. Everybody's pretty. Husseini, you still out there?
$100+ hauler. Smitty. Everybody's pretty. $100+ hauler. I don't even know why they're getting ditty why. $100+ hauler.
Landman over on Rumble, Golf over on Rumble, appreciate you. And Husseini says Carnell Tate to the Chiefs. There you go. Carnell Tate to the Chiefs. 240, please put yourself on mute real quickly. I'll be right with you. Just hit mute if you could. Husseini's correct. This is probably my favorite player to land in KC at that 9 pick, as you just heard me allude to, because he fits the bill. He is the type of wide receiver. Let me tell you something about Carnell Tate, which we haven't done. Husseini, thank you for that $100 super chat. Let me put it back on screen and keep it up for just a little bit, because this man's a marvel dropping this 100 wad. Husseini, you still out there? I assume you are. Appreciate you very much. Husseini, you're the man. I didn't mean to make you wait on that one. Carnell Tate has, and I dare to say this, I don't mean it to come off as too bold, because I don't necessarily think I'm comping him entirely. I'm just giving you a parallel. Reminds me of a Chris Carter in a way. Like, Carnell Tate has the ability to grab a football. His hands are phenomenal. His sideline game is unbelievable, and that's what Chris Carter was. But Carnell Tate is probably the perfect man for the job over in KC. Not saying Jordan Tyson wouldn't be good. Not saying Mekhi Lemon wouldn't be good in KC. Not saying that at all. And not saying that those two couldn't land there. But Carnell Tate feels like the perfect wide receiver to replace what could be needing to be replaced, Rashee Rice. So 100% my current feel right now. The only problem with the theory, though, is that the Chiefs pick last of the teams likely to look at early top 10 wide receiver drafting. And so they might have the leftovers. I really think that the Giants, Cleveland, Washington, 2 of these teams are taking a wide receiver. You just have to hope one of them is Mekhi Lemon, who I think is, you'll see it. I'm not trying to ruin my wide receiver rankings, and I'm not trying to say he's not good. I like him a lot, but I think he's a little bit overrated comparatively to Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. I think that those two are slightly better, but it does feel like there's a big consensus out there that Mekhi Lemon is the one climbing the most. And so you might get lucky, Husseini, in that the Giants or the Browns or the Commanders, whichever 2 teams grab those 2 wide receivers ahead of hopefully Carnell Tate, one of them is grabbing Mekhi Lemon. So, and I'm not saying Mekhi Lemon's not good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I like Tate more. Tate shined next to the best wide receiver prospect that will ever probably come out in the next 10 years and anywhere in the rear view in Jeremiah Smith, who still has to stay one more year and play football at Ohio State. But this guy alongside of him was remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Thank you, Husseini. Appreciate you again, my boy. Travis, you are live.
Hey, what's up? I think that makes sense that, like, there's just so much smoke there almost has to be fire this time. It seems like he's kind of now established that he's an idiot, and it doesn't look good for him, put it that way. But the one thing I will say is that, glass half full type of thing. If you're a Chiefs fan, this kind of, if he gets suspended or crap it's a fan with him even more, it kind of forces them to rebuild that offense even more so than they were going to, because they were talking about bringing in a running back, and now you're looking at running back, tight end, and wide receiver they have to rebuild.
Yeah.
And I think they can do it pretty easy in 1 year. Like,
oh yeah.
I personally think they're going to target Goddard if Philly lets him get the free agency.
I mean, if let's say the Chiefs go after Breece Hall, either in a tag and trade, which the Jets are a dumb enough organization right now that I could see them not tagging Breece Hall and letting him go. I'm not saying it's what you should do, but I could see him doing it and us all just laughing and going, why didn't they sell him for a 3rd, 4th round? Like, the Chiefs, they wanted a 3rd rounder from the Chiefs, and we equally laugh at the Chiefs right now and saying, why did you trade for Breece Hall for a 3rd rounder? What in the hell were you thinking? But at the same time, if the Jets don't tag Hall, because he's an unrestricted free agent, if they don't tag Breece Hall and try and sign and trade him or whatever, then that's crazy that you didn't at least take the free 4th round pick. But this is the Jets we're talking about. But I do believe that how good will the Chiefs look? Everyone's going to make fun of them right now, but as you just alluded to, how quickly they'll change this narrative. You go get Breece Hall, you draft Carnell Tate, your team's probably better than it was. Like that's they have the 9 pick to fix this, and they have Breece Hall available to go get. And so, and even if it's not Breece Hall, it could be ETN, it could be Rico Dowdle for 1 year because they're gonna have to use that pick on Lemon or Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson versus being able to go get Jeremiah Love. They could also, a couple other examples, Pickens is needing a brand new contract, and there's a report today that Jerry Jones is top of his priority list is signing Javonte Williams to a long-term deal. Landman, call back. You hung up. But there's a chance that seems to out-prioritize Pickens because you're not hearing as much about Pickens right now. So who knows what Jerry's willing to do there? Like, what if the Cowboys let Pickens go? They traded Micah Parsons. So, we don't know what Jerry's going to do. Then all of a sudden you have this team, the KC Chiefs, drafting Jeremiah Love and then bringing in Pickens or, doing some sort of A.J. Brown trade or who the hell knows, man. I mean, I could fix the Kansas City Chiefs with either one of those game plans with a snap. So the Chiefs fans should be in their good hands. Husseini, you're in really good hands. You couldn't have had a better year to have this number 9 overall pick because it helps solve the problem because you can solve two of the problems, one with free agency or trade, the other with the pick. And so you're going to be in really, really good spot. I was going to go to Landman right now, but he just hung up. So Travis, what else you got? Thank you again, Hussein.
I mean, just, on top of that point, like there's several, wide receivers out there in free agency that if they didn't use that pick, they could go after. I mean, even like an Alec Pierce or a Wandale would be fine, maybe not as a true number 1, but would help that offense. And then the amount of free agent running backs. And like I said, I think either if they don't draft like, a Kenyon Sadiq, I don't think they'd take him 9, but maybe if they don't go that route, I think Goddard or Likely is a really good chance to go to KC if they shake loose in free agency. Yeah,
and some of you keep saying Pickens isn't going anywhere. You don't know that because he needs a bag. They need to pay him like a top 5 wide receiver. So will Jerry pay him after he just paid? You don't know. I'm not saying he won't, but you have no clue if Jerry's going to pay Pickens top 5 wide receiver money because guess what Pickens finished as? Wide receiver 5. You're like if anybody thinks you're not paying Pickens top 5 wide receiver money, you're fooling yourself. So will Jerry do that? I don't know. He should, but will he do it? I don't know. So Pickens, you never know. Jerry's wild, and so you got that. And then I see another inaccurate, weird statement by Tyler. Surprise, surprise, Tyler. Tyler says KC would be cool for Tyreek Hill. But Mahomes is missing half the season. I don't know what makes you think Mahomes is missing half the season. I don't know. I don't know.
Someone else was saying that too.
Someone whispered that in your ear and you just believed them, or I don't know what you're saying there. You realize we have 8 months until week 1. You realize that someone could tear their ACL today and still push to make week 1. It wouldn't even be a marvel. It wouldn't be like an unheard of timetable. 8 months, bro. Like the Malik Neighbors and Mahomes have already gone through the biggest parts of their surgeries where their graft is already holding nice and snug and tight right now. Like that's the bigger part of the delay is making sure that 4, 5, 6 months of that graft of the ACL, when they take that window out of your patellar tendon and cut out a piece, they drill into your knee, they put that ACL into that there, they put the ACL into that, they drill in and put these screws in and everything, make it all tight, and then the graft has to hold. That's the biggest part of the healing process. Then it's a lot of rehab, but you have people telling you, Tyler, and you're believing them that they're, and I don't care if it's somebody in the chat, you're believing them. Like investigate it a little bit, Tyler. Ask me. Don't go off of what one person in the chat says something ridiculous and you just roll with it. You're gonna draft around it, Tyler. This is why sometimes I go hard at a question that's misleading in the chat. People are like, Smitty, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You are. But I'm gonna address or remove something that's gonna guide people in a direction. Like Tyler almost sold all of his Mahomes shares because somebody in the chat said Mahomes isn't coming back till midseason. Jeez. All right. I don't know where Landman went. Landman, where are you at? In my Rumble chat over here, I got Golf saying it's interesting to see that KC does, especially with what Hunt did. And they are a team that did react to Hunt. They did not react to Rice in previous situations. But you got to remember, Hebrew Hammer, where you been, bro? Where you been? I like the like I never left. Where have you been? Golf, appreciate you. This is one of those situations where because there is domestic, accused accusations not proven yet. I just want to make that abundantly clear. But this is not something like in the case of Alvin Kamara fighting with another man, even though it was horrible. And they just basically, cornered this man. Entourage went to town, and it was a crazy scenario that deserved a lot more than a slap on the wrist. But when you start mixing in the domestic part, it's a whole nother monster. Rashee Rice cowardly running off the freeway, leaving an accident scene where people got injured. Thank God no one got, injured so bad that they were, it was pretty minor considering the millions of dollars in damage. But that was different. That wasn't domestic. Domestic is where the league steps in for perception's sake too, and they just say, I can't prove anything yet. It is innocent until proven guilty. When people say innocent until proven guilty, you are correct for the law, for your ability to live outside of a cage. Like that, yes, you're right. Innocent until proven guilty, and thank God our country has it that way, so that somebody doesn't go to prison or something. An innocent person goes to prison because someone made an accusation. But that's a whole different conversation that we're very, very excited exists in this country. But when you're talking about walking onto a football field for an organization that lives inside a all-encompassing business of 32 teams, they do get to decide whether you go on the field. Doesn't have to be innocent till proven guilty. They'll just put you on the exempt list paid and say, we're not paying you, but you can't be here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, as the song says. That's what they're going to tell. Landman, you're live.
What did my boy Rice do this time, man? Gosh.
Well, he's opening the door for Mekhi Lemon, who I like least of the three, Carnell Tate, and Jordan Tyson, who I really like both of them near equal. Those guys go to KC to play with Patrick Mahomes, who, according to Tyler and a few people in the chat, isn't ever returning again. But once this wide receiver marriage happens, the rookie wide receiver meets Mahomes, they shake hands, they become the two best friends that anybody could have. Then all of a sudden, we've got that spark we needed. And like Travis said, blessing in disguise, that's a horrible, I guess, way to phrase this. But if you're a Chiefs...
I think glass half full is what I said.
Yeah, glass half full. No, well, I was saying my phrasing, me just saying that was horrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm saying, but like Travis just said, glass half full, and I said blessing in disguise, is that if, let's say you're a Chiefs fan, and you're just trying to look at this from a non-accusational standpoint, and you're not getting your feelings. It's all about business. It's all about the team winning. If Rice does escape this, and you do draft Mekhi Lemon or Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, now you've got two monsters on your team. So if you're a Chiefs fan and this works out for Rice, and it was all accusations, and we have to keep in mind, like, and this is why I say I'm so glad we live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty. But that doesn't mean you have to be playing. When you've had horrible decisions, and we notice what this kid continues to get wrong, and do we trust him? 0% of me trust him. Why would I trust him? He's a coward. He ran up the freeway and left a whole bunch of people injured. Why would I trust him? I was very critical of that, by the way. People think, oh, you loved Rice. Yes, I loved Rice from a business perspective. I was so critical. If you go back and watch my Rashee Rice crash live stream, live breakdown, I called him a coward. And he is a coward. But this is still an innocent till proven guilty country, thank God. But it's also, you have put yourself in this light and position on your own, and the NFL has to take action. And there's a real good chance something goes down. But there's also still a chance the NFL does nothing. I mean, we don't. The truth is, and we had I don't know where Tony the Tiger is. I miss Tony. Tony, if you're watching right now, please call into the show. I don't know if you have the number, but here's the phone
Call
line.
into the show. Call into the show.
But our attorney, or one of our favorite attorneys, Tony the Tiger, he would call in, and one of the phrases he used once that we use all the time now, because I agree with it, is the NFL has a heavy hand 1 minute, and then they don't have a heavy hand the next minute. And there's really no way of telling when they're going to do that. It's case by case, probably driven by money and what perception looks like. But sometimes in the weirdest situations, when perception's horrible, they still don't do anything. So it's hard to know when this heavy hand's going to happen. But I will say I do believe, it's keep going, Landman. Appreciate you. And then we got a $50 hauler from Hebrew Hammer over on Rumble. I'll get to that in 1 second. Go ahead, Landman.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's like the NFL uses the standard of the criminal court versus civil court, and it all depends on the prevailing winds of public opinion. So that's the way they play it. So, but look, it is what it is, and you got to go forward like he ain't going to be around because he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. She's got pictures and documentation, and it goes to the DA. We've seen this movie before, so they've got to make the plan. And the Chiefs are a smart enough organization; they're going to make the plan.
And the biggest misconception people have, which is completely wrong, is that this can go away. He'll just pay her off. You can't do that with domestic. You can't. It's out of her hands. Nope. She can't even dial this thing back if she wanted to. That's why the major question that gets asked is, are you guys in a relationship? Whatever is. Once it's domestic, that's when they investigate the hell out of it. And there's no turning back. The DA would still potentially move forward and prosecute this, even if she was begging them not to. It doesn't matter at this point. So anybody says, he can just pay her and he'll settle out of court. That's not how it works. You can do that with the Alvin Kamara situation in some ways. You can't do that with a domestic situation. And like Landman said, the best course of action is to pretend that this man doesn't exist. Do you trade him? How do you get rid of him in Dynasty? You get on the phone right now. While you're watching this show, you get two devices going. Get the iPad out. You start sending out offers. What do you send out an offer for? Try and get his replacement. Try and get a 1.2 or a 1.3 for Rashee Rice right now, and see if you can replace him with Tate or Tyson. That would be fantastic. Of course, Jeremiah Love, but you're not going to get the 1.1. But maybe you get the 1.2 or the 1.3. Maybe you give up a future first rounder and Rice to get the 1.2 or 1.3 and get some other player that you can justify being worth what you consider to be a late first rounder in the future, and do some sort of creative getting out of this situation type of maneuver, because we don't know what's in store. Would I sell them pennies on the dollar? No, because we've seen players escape things like this before. That's the whole point of what we said. Heavy hand, commissioner, non-heavy hand. And the fact that we just saw two players almost have their entire careers ruined by accusations in Judkins and what's his face? What's the wide receiver's name? I'm blanking on that for the moment. What's his name? Travis, the wide receiver that had the accusations too. Somebody help me. Bueller?
Now?
No, the Judkins and this kid both had the same. I'm blanking on.
Isaiah Bond.
Bond. So Bond and Judkins both had these accusations slung at them, and it all ended up feeling like it was completely fabricated. Could that be the case for Rice? Maybe not. But the problem is, what has Rice done to prove to us that we should believe him? Nothing. In fact, he's done way more for us not to believe him than to believe him. So that's the unfortunate part of, be sure you conduct yourself a certain way, because you start crying wolf about stuff, no one's going to believe you. Hebrew Hammer says, Smitty, Hebrew Hammer's back like he never left. Just got back from vacation. We didn't bring home the ship. CD, Nico, Gibbs, T. Not the way you want to go out. Work starts now. Bro, this is a really good team. You can't beat yourself up over not winning with that squad. Hebrew Hammer, we're going to take you to the promised land. Don't you worry, young man. Get ready for the ball, Cinderella. It starts now, like you just said. Appreciate Hebrew Hammer dropping the $20 wad. $50 wad. I'm sorry, $50 wad. All right, Travis, what else you got? And then over to Landman again. Thank you, Hammer.
If he's got any more on this subject, go to him, because I was going to bring.
Let me read BBQ super chat, then go to Landman. Chiefs' big issue involved being over the cap, and they only have 4 picks in the first 5 rounds. Need O-line to protect Mahomes, wide receiver, running back, DL, and tight end if Kelsey retires. Lots of questions going into 2026. It's true, but they've done amazing work in the past. Veach is an amazing talent acquisition artist, and the fact that they can do some of this with the free agency aspect of this thing, like who can they go after? Does Breece Hall become a free agent because the Jets don't know what they're doing? You go after a cheaper Rico Dowdle now, and you say, okay, we'll use this 9 pick on a wide receiver. Then they have the rest of the draft and free agency to focus on all these things. I think I could get it done. I think I could turn the Chiefs into a conglomerate with one off season here with what they've got. The firepower might be not have as much ammunition as the guy next to him, but the ammunition counts when they use it. They're going to be very precise, like surgeons with it. So it's a good point. Definitely something to consider. If they miss on some of it, then it could be a rough year. That's true. It's a very good point in that aspect. But this is could they go O-line? Maybe they go with the later wide receiver. Maybe they trust Rashee Rice. I don't know. It certainly feels like it would be a mistake if they don't grab one of the top 3 wide receivers. However, if I was the Kansas City Chiefs and Tyson and Tate were gone, I like Mekhi Lemon, but that's when I would maybe consider offensive line or Jeremiah Love if he was still there, and then figure out a way to get one of these top wide receivers. But that's me.
They could easily, like I said, pivot to a Pierce, a Wandale, a Jawan Jennings. Devo's a free agent. Dobbs is a free agent. Any of these guys go into the Kansas City system, and they're playing at the highest level they've probably played at because of the system with Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, Wandale would be good in this situation because you still might get Rice back. Maybe misses half a year, maybe misses 1 year, but you still might get him back. The only thing I'll caution people against in terms of that expectation is when is he delivered on a full year yet? He hasn't. He's a disappointment maker. And that's why the other night when Travis and I were even talking about why Rice didn't crack the top 5 wide receivers, like I think Travis, you even mentioned, like why is Rice not there? And my answer was, we haven't seen him do it. Like we just don't. We need to see him really go through a full year and be elite for a full year. We can't trust him yet. We can't trust him. I'm so glad I said it that way, because it's exactly what we're looking at right now. The guy's just a disappointment. Golf dropping a $50 wad on screen. Golf says, who's your favorite rookie QB for the upcoming season? Mendoza. It's not even close. It's Mendoza, and it's only Mendoza. Now, Dante Moore will be interesting if he does end up. Did he end up declaring today? There's a lot of stuff happening today, and I didn't catch if Dante Moore ended up declaring. There's been a few declares today. I don't know if that if you can look for that, Travis, just to make sure.
I don't think so. I think Ty Simpson did, right?
If that's the case, then you might see Dante Moore not come out, because that's what a lot of people's assumption was, that one would come out, the other one would go back. But they both could declare. But it's an easy Mendoza. Not to mention, the only landing spot I trust for a rookie QB is, believe it or not, some of you are going to hate on it because you just can't look through the positives and read between the lines. But Vegas is a beautiful spot for Mendoza.
Yeah,
probably the best spot that a person could draft up. There's not a better spot you could try and cook up. He's got Bowers. He's got Genty. He's going to have a whole new regime. Could be Coobs, could be who knows who's going to be this head coach. but I'm excited for what's in store for Vegas. Brady's certainly going to have a hand in building this thing when the whole foundation's been leveled and being built on a proper slab instead of having a cracked foundation like they had. Pete Carroll was just ridiculous. I don't know what in the hell they're even thinking. And his commitment to Geno was an immediate, like, he's going to be out in 1 or 2 years type of move. We're like, holy shit. So Vegas, Mendoza, easiest question I've been asked probably all offseason goal. Thank you for the $50 hauler. Landman, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say with Brady there now, he's solidified in there. He's going to be more of a consultant rather than just like, hey, here's an FYI. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So I think that just, and also too, you got these youngins that go into an organization. They want to be around, Hall of Famers. I mean, think about Mendoza and going, yeah, Tom Brady's got 10% ownership of this thing. Yeah. You think it's a good idea for me to go there?
Yeah, but it's gonna be really, really interesting how many people are against this Raiders build because of history. They're like, oh, you can't, they're the Raiders. Oh, like everyone's so backwards thinking. They look in the rear view mirror and people come in and go, this is a fantasy guy. He's just speaking about fantasy. No, you sad soul, you poor sap. Like so there's so many layers to this that require me to know what you know and to know what the fantasy football side of things are. And I'm telling you, this feels different. My theory is that Tom Brady was asked, how do you fix the mess ups we've made versus, hey, Tom, what should we do here when we're building it? This time around, it's clean slate. Now it's going to Tom when Tom can actually do something about it before decisions have been made. And Tom is going to be, this is going to be something we look at and go, rough start. But boy, did Tom Brady turn this thing around. And I know it's not all up to him. I get that. But this feels very, very different. And Tom knows what he's doing. Tom is one of the best commentators in the game, period. I know he's kind of a rough first year and everybody was critical of him. And he kind of was a little different in his first couple broadcasts, and it took him a little while. But when you listen to Tom Brady breaking down a game, there's nobody that has more knowledge than him. I mean, he knows so much about every single little tiny thing, and it's amazing listening to him. And I think he's going to help just turn this Raiders organization around 180 degrees immediately. All right, go ahead, Landman, finish what you're saying. Then I don't know if we have another caller here or not, if they hung up or not, but then I'll go back to Travis. Go ahead, Landman. Appreciate the super.
Yeah, it depends on who they get to coach. I'd like to see somebody, the super offensive coordinator, get into that Raider organization.
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, I like Kubiak. I mean, you're in the legacy.
Yeah, you know how smart Tom Brady is. Tom Brady's so smart that I wouldn't be surprised. Bro, I think he played 5D chess. I think everybody thought he was a moron for a second. Like not overall like Tom Brady quarterback moron. I'm not saying that, but Tom Brady partial owner is equivalent to Michael Jordan trying to draft players. Remember Michael Jordan? Everybody thought Michael Jordan's the GOAT, right? The absolute GOAT. You think LeBron's the GOAT? Get out of here. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, period. And when we heard Michael Jordan was deciding who to draft in the NFL draft, we thought, oh, Jordan's going to know what to do here. Jordan's the worst evaluator of talent that I've ever seen. I'm better than Michael. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm better than Michael Jordan at evaluating a basketball player talent, which is insane that he doesn't have that skill set. But he doesn't. He doesn't have it. And I think for a moment in time, people thought Tom Brady, because he was involved, didn't know what he was doing either. But Tom Brady's so smart, I wouldn't be surprised if he sits down with someone later and says, I want a Mendoza, and I knew if we did this, we'd have him. I wouldn't be surprised if this was part of Tom's master plan. He's so smart that he knew that this would be a way he could get it to occur the way he wanted. I mean, Mendoza, I'm just telling you, Mendoza feels like a brilliant marriage for the Raiders and Tom Brady, and hopefully it's Kubiak or it's a coordinator that's going to be, like you said, offensive oriented, but also a good mix of run and pass, because we want to have, like Kubiak over in Seattle, what they've done with their rushing attack and what they've done with JSN and that passing attack with Sam Darnold. They'll be able to do almost immediately with Bowers, Genty, and Mendoza. And you've got what? What do you got on the other side of the fence, man? I mean, Max Crosby is somebody we don't talk about enough when we're trying to talk about the Raiders and how this organization. He's going to be so. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He isn't going anywhere. He isn't going.
They talked about moving him today.
Yeah, but that was with Pete Carroll there and the whole situation. So
yeah, he's not. He's. I'm telling you right now that he's gonna feel what we're feeling. That things are different.
Yeah, I mean,
something different in the air.
He wants to stay there.
Yeah, he said it multiple times.
So.
Now, I know he's mad, and he left the facility when they said, hey, we want to get that number 1 overall pick. But you know what he's going to say? I could just see it being a meme or him laughing about it. When someone says, so how do you think about getting that number 1 pick now when Mendoza's doing good? And they'll be like, yeah, it's pretty good. I know it's going to come back around, and there's going to be some good humor involved in that. Max Crosby's going to say, yep, guess it was a good day to leave, or I'm glad I did leave or whatever, or it worked out okay. Like there'll be some sort of joke about it in jest later because this team is turning around. Let's get back on track here with Rice.
Can I just say one thing on the Raiders?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hearing that Brady wants Brian Flores, the coach, and Daboll to be the OC. And
be very good. That'd be very good.
If that happens, then Brady's pulling the strings there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you imagine Flores?
I think that would be a great combo, yeah.
And Flores might not be a good head coach. I'll just say that right now. Just like I think Miami Mike McDaniel's a tough head coach, but a great scheme artist. Just like I think, Kingsbury may or may not develop into a good head coach someday, but he's a really good offensive coordinator. There's a lot of situations like that, and some of them we might end up seeing too. Like I'm a little afraid, what if they get the wrong coordinator? But with Tom Brady involved, I think it'll be the right minds involved. But yeah, I mean, Flores and Daboll, those are proven. And so I think that's what you're going to see in LV. They have a lot of unproven talent, and they have an unproven path to victory. So they need proven leaders to make sure they're not. You can't gamble on the coach and OC and DC like you can gamble on the players, right? So you're gambling on Mendoza, but you're not going to gamble with the people that are running things. And honestly, I think the Raiders, as much as people think outside of this, if they're not close to the situation, especially like fan bases, they think that the Raiders are a joke and nobody would want to play for them. It's not true. They're a team rooted in a lot of history, and a lot of people want them to succeed inside that building, from the management level. It's not like they're trying to just, sell tickets and be as cheap as possible. Like they want to do things right, but I think they're going to get the right pieces in place. And Flores with Daboll would be unbelievable. It would be unbelievable. As for, let me read the super chat here. Now, USC is in the Big Ten as a Michigan Lions fan. Lemon is amazing and Tate is a dude. Smith is better than both. Can't wait to see them in fantasy. Yeah, Smith is definitely, Jeremiah Smith, definitely the best wide receiver prospect to come out of college for the next 10 years and anything in the past. Like you look in the rear view, there's no. But, we don't want to discredit what Carnell Tate is because he had to live in his shadow. Also, Ohio State creates monsters. It's like almost like automatic. So it's wild for anybody to even doubt Carnell Tate, and say, oh, well, he isn't Jeremiah Smith. Well, to do what Tate did with Smith in his, living in Smith's shadow is remarkable when you really think about it. So, yeah.
Same reason why you can't write Ibuka off either. Like, the people that are doing that, to me, are just crazy.
Yeah. And to the point about Lemon, I'm not trying to say Lemon's bad. I'm not. I just don't think Lemon is as good of a prospect. This could change once they enter the NFL because, like Achan's probably the best example of it, especially inside our community, of a running back that was not supposed to be number 3 in fantasy football. Like he became something else when he got into the league. And so, we can't ever assume, Makai Lemon isn't as good as Tate as a prospect, so he can never be better than Tate. That's not the case. Situation means a lot. Growth inside the NFL means a lot. And but I just believe that he's not the same prospect level as Tyson and Tate. But I like Makai Lemon a lot. I just would rather have Tate or Tyson. All right, real quickly, I think I got all the super chats out of the way. Rise Above dropped one. MJ, 6-0 in the NBA Finals, 6 NBA Finals. Yeah, that's the other thing is like someone tries to argue stats. Oh, LeBron's played longer, most minutes ever logged from a player in the NBA. Those are all very impressive, and why he ranks in probably the top 5 of all time. But you tell him I would rather have Kobe Bryant over LeBron James. It would go Jordan, Kobe. Jordan, Kobe, then LeBron. You want to go in that direction, sure. But anybody that tries
have a bunch of players over LeBron.
Yeah, you try and tell me someone's better than Jordan, you're gonna lose that battle every time.
I'd take Magic and Bird too, but that's for another day.
Bird would dominate today's NBA. He would absolutely obliterate people. So I guess I would say this from a fantasy perspective. And Rice, what are you doing? You're trying to get rid of him for the 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, just to get that rookie wide receiver. But in terms of redraft, I mean, if you ask me where do I rank Rashee Rice right now, I mean, is there a world where I draft him still? Yes. Because I'm not thinking with my heart or trying to draft on principle. Like someone like Ron Navy, which I fully respect, would be like, I won't draft him. And that's good. But I can't run my business like that. I'd have to assume that there's a strong chance, I don't know what the percentage is, that he misses the entire season. There's a strong chance he misses half a year. There's a strong chance he's messed up in the head because of all this, and can't get straight and has a bad year anyway. There's a lot of reasons that you could doubt him. I think it comes down to difference makers. If there's a difference maker, I want the difference maker over Rice. If we're talking about somebody that's replaceable like Devontae Smith or Cortland Sutton or DK Metcalf, I could take chances on a guy like Rice and then go grab another DK Metcalf-like player to fill in until Rice is able to play, or maybe Rice never plays. So that means when you get up to like Olave, you want Olave. You get up to London, of course. Garrett Wilson, take Garrett Wilson. Mecca Ibuka, take a Mecca Ibuka. We'll see about Devontae Adams and how we view him in terms of 2026. He's getting older. AJ Brown over Rice, like all those guys. And then you get to like T Higgins, and I think that's where you start getting in debates with people. Where you say T Higgins is going to play. Rice might not. I take T Higgins. The difference between Rice, if we're wrong, and Rice plays the whole year, but maybe he doesn't play great. I mean, the difference between T Higgins and Rice won't be that dramatic. So I'd take T Higgins. So it would have to come down to like a Sutton, a Devontae Smith, a potential Waddle, Mike Evans who's older and might not even stay healthy. Like all those guys, maybe. But I might even stray away from that territory if things start getting worse and worse and worse. But what do you guys think on, let me go with Travis first and over to Landman. Where do you rank Rice if you had to right now in a redraft setting? Not a dynasty, but a redraft.
In terms of what round I'd take him or where at wide receiver? Like
I just did. Wide receiver. Who you taking above him? Who you taking below him? Like BTJ.
So we have no idea what's happening. We don't know if he's
right now. You're drafting right now for 2026.
Right now. Yes, I'll take Rice over BTJ. I don't feel good about it though.
Landman.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do that, but the intangible for me is he was suspended the first 6 games. I mean, a different situation, but,
Well, you got to make that call now. You got to make that call now.
Right.
Well,
that's the point of the exercise.
Yeah. I'd put him over. BTJ, and
I don't think I could.
I'd put him at 17, 16, 17. That's it.
I don't know if I could put him over BTJ.
I only do because I don't know what BTJ's situation is next year. And if BTJ is in Jacksonville next year, I don't think he can be a top 10 receiver.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Parker Washington came up, man. he got my point.
Hunter's coming back.
I think if that's the way they feel, they might trade him.
Hunter coming back. He's going to play offense. He's not going to play defense next year.
We'll see. I'm the biggest LeBron hater you'll ever meet. Cannot stand him, although I acknowledge his greatness. Well, he is great. He's a top 5 all-time player. But when people think that gives him the ability to say he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, that's a laughable. Like, anybody that says LeBron's the greatest of all time, they're under the age of 30. I can almost guarantee you. They just
correct.
It's not their fault. And somebody that's like 70, 80 years old could say the same thing to us and go, you didn't watch Oscar Robertson play, and we'd be like, you're true. Or if we say, Adrian Peterson or Barry Sanders was the best running back of all time, and someone might say, well, you didn't watch Jim Brown, moron. And we'd be like, yeah, we didn't. Like, the eras make it complicated to have these debates, but I watched them both play. So I get to say that, yes, Jordan was better than LeBron, always was. Not to mention, you are considering the era, and if Jordan played in today's NBA, he'd score 50 points a game. Not average, 30 points a game. He'd average 50 points a game, and he would terrorize the NBA. And the illegal traveling that's allowed with the gather now, the gather step, it's ridiculous. And I can't stand when people defend the gather step. Like, they need to get rid of the gather step. It's ruining the game. The game's a joke. The NBA is a joke now. You can take 10 steps and it be legal. And you can defend it based on the rules. You can defend that the gather lets you stop. You can pivot around. You can then take 2 more steps and then jump in the air and shoot the ball. It's all part of the gather. And everyone's trying to defend it now because the rules do say you can do it, but they need to change the rules because it makes the NBA a circus.
It's like the tuck rule. The tuck rule was legal, so it was the right call. But even as a Patriots fan, that shouldn't have been a rule. Like, it's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody, they're under the age of 30. Anybody that says LeBron's the GOAT, they have no clue. Yeah. Jordan would walk up to the referee and go, that was a foul. And he'd go, you think so, Michael? Okay. And then the referee would call foul. Like, Jordan, he owned everything. He didn't cry on the floor and cover his face and look and see if anybody's looking. And then when they say it's a foul, he hops back up. LeBron's a big baby. Big baby. You can never be the greatest of all time when you flop like on command. LeBron said he was done with the 90s. LeBron's now, by the way, in load management territory, so we're really kind of inching towards.
He's hurting his legacy, in my opinion, with still playing. He just looks awful.
Well, I mean, he still could score. I don't know. I haven't watched much of the NBA yet this year. NBA is not real basketball. It's Looney Tune, Space Jam, Cartoon Network. I refuse to watch it. College basketball is the way to go. Love the NCAA tournament. Can't wait. Husky says LeBron's the GOAT easy. Thank you again, Hussein. Appreciate you. All right, guys, back on topic here. Instead of arguing a ridiculous argument of LeBron versus Jordan. I don't know.
I got one thing on the coach's front.
Yeah.
Yeah, coach's front. See what Jim Harbaugh said today about his brother John coaching.
What you want to say on it? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh said, he goes, John's going to find a good team to coach in the NFC. So I still think his landing space is either going to be the Giants or Atlanta.
Oh yeah. But the news is the Giants. He is the lead candidate for the Giant role for sure.
Yeah, but Lamar fan.
So I was going to ask, if the Bills lose this week, does McDermott go? And would Harbaugh consider that, seeing that they're moving into a new stadium next year? Josh Allen's there. or do you think it would be someone else?
I don't think.
I think McDermott could go if they lose this week.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's hard to say because you got to remember, even the Eagles won a Super Bowl, and then the next year had a bad year and removed their head coach. Like it can happen in a snap, but I don't know that if they lose the first game, let's say Buffalo loses against Jacksonville and it's embarrassing.
Right.
Maybe you're onto something that is possible. Like maybe it's 50-50. But if they win this game and lose in the divisional round, I don't think he'll be fired. But you never know. I mean, I ultimately didn't think Harbaugh would leave either. And I also kind of was unsure if Gannon would actually get fired in Arizona. I was hoping he would, but so you never know. You never know what these organizations are going to do. I mean, at some point you almost got to look at the Harbaugh getting canned in Baltimore as the same thing as Buffalo, because at some point the fan base is like, look, we've been waiting, like, and it's not happening. So you can like them all you want, but it hasn't happened. Right. We got to move on. Like, I could see it happening. I think there'd have to be
going into a new stadium next year. I know people say that doesn't matter, but it does. They turn the page on things. So
I can see it.
I'm not saying it's a huge chance, but I think if they lose in the first round,
if it's embarrassing, yeah, because the fan base is going to. Yeah, and so Husseini would
blame the coach or the quarterback.
Husseini with 10 gifted.
Yeah, Travis, you're onto something there, because the quarterbacks, when you have these marquee quarterbacks, they dictate whether the coach stays or not, because you got to make a choice, and that's why Harbaugh left.
Yeah,
Harbaugh left because Lamar didn't want him there.
Well, did you guys see Lamar put on in one of his, I think it was Instagram stories, a song that was very descriptive about, that they tried to hold me back, and I'm like, I'm moving on. It was definitely Lamar helped to get him fired type of situation for sure, which makes it feel to me that they're not trading Lamar for anything at this point. They made the move to keep Lamar, and that was their commitment. And again, like I said earlier, very rare that the team will move on from the coach and the quarterback. It's usually a hard stance to try and one more move to try and salvage what they believe the coach couldn't do, or one more move to salvage what they believe the quarterback couldn't do for the coach, and they get rid of the quarterback. But usually it's the coach that goes first, and they try it one more time, and that's probably what what's happening there.
And there was reports too that Lamar and the OC were bumping heads too, and like you were talking about Harbaugh, almost sounds like he wants to bring what's his name, Monken, wherever he goes. It almost sounds like.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it does feel like that. And then here was some news that dropped today. Let me see if I can put it up. Todd Bowles, for those that don't know, said he will remain the team's head coach. It's always weird when Bowles is the one telling us. It's almost like, is anybody even home, in this situation? Like, why is he the one reporting?
Yep.
Why is he the one coming down and goes, yep, they're all okay upstairs. Nobody go up there. Nobody go upstairs on the 12th floor. They're all fine.
Don't open that door.
Don't open the door. Don't look in the freezer. I'm coming back.
Hey.
They told me to tell you I'm coming back.
He's not like a Tony Robbins either, a motivational speaker either.
No. This one's interesting. This is one to watch. Mike LaFleur, the OC.
Yep.
In LAR, the Rams OC, Mike LaFleur, little guy, little brother, keeps coming up as a head coaching candidate. I don't know. I think he's a part of something great, but I don't know if he's fully the architect. So I don't know. Javonte Williams, Cowboys co-owner, it wasn't Jerry Jones, it was Stephen Jones, said that re-signing Javonte Williams to a multi-year extension is at the top of the list. Problem is, this didn't come from Jerry. Jerry could contradict that. We don't know. Mike Tomlin, surprise, surprise, ESPN Jeremy Fowler saying the Steelers and Coach Mike Tomlin could part ways with this offseason. We've been talking about that forever. This one here, Lamar Jackson, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports the Ravens are looking for a head coach to invigorate QB Lamar Jackson. So that's more news that suggests Lamar ain't going anywhere. And Cliff Kingsbury, according to this report, Commanders OC Cliff Kingsbury and Chargers DC Jesse Minter are among candidates to be the Ravens' next head coach. Not candidates, not that he's going to be, but that would be interesting. Cliff Kingsbury and Lamar. I don't know if it feels like it fits perfectly, but maybe Kingsbury can adapt and this could get the best out of Kingsbury. I don't think just because Kingsbury just had a running quarterback in JD5 and during JD5's rookie year, he was phenomenal. So I'm not saying he's not good with a running quarterback. He had Kyler. He's definitely, but I feel like Lamar is a little bit different.
At one point.
But at the same time, Lamar was a passing monster in 2024. So maybe Kingsbury would be the perfect candidate potentially. And then this guy creeping up out of nowhere, forgot he even existed. Mike McCarthy. Giants will interview former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy for the team's head coach vacancy. I wonder if McCarthy, I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, McCarthy, he's had some good offenses.
Yeah, but you want him as your head coach?
I don't know.
I mean, we just saw what he did with the Cowboys.
Better,
I agree.
Better than some scenarios, I suppose. I mean, look, Matt Nagy's interviewing for a head coaching job. Like, can you imagine saying
the Giants, though, like New York, like make a real move.
You imagine saying no to Mike McCarthy and then you get Matt Nagy? You're like, no, McCarthy, bring him back. McCarthy's
I'm
better.
waiting for Arthur Smith to pop up as a head coach.
I still kind of like McCarthy. I don't hate that one. And if it's not, let's say in New York, I still want him to be one of the 6, 7, 8 coaches. I think. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I just think he's had good offenses, man. I just think it'd be good for fantasy. But BBQ says MJ is the GOAT. MJ and Kobe were killers and Apex Alpha Predators. Both played for one team. LeBron played wherever he could win. Ask NBA legends. They know. Yeah, I mean, you ask like Allen Iverson. Like anybody in the chat thinks I'm going to trust them over myself in my own eyeballs that watch both play. But when Allen Iverson, when you ask him who was the best player to ever play, and he tells you Jordan, then Kobe, then LeBron, I'm pretty sure Allen Iverson's somebody that you should trust over your ridiculous LeBron's the GOAT comment, because you clearly don't know, ball really if you think LeBron's better than Jordan. It's a ridiculous take. It shows you're very, very narrow and your NBA history, which is fine. You might know a lot about, today's NBA, not necessarily trying to tear down somebody's knowledge on ball for now, but you clearly don't know. It's almost like you woke up from a coma and there's a big part of the NBA you never heard about, saw, like you have no knowledge there. If you think LeBron's better than Jordan, you have no knowledge from that part of NBA history. Just zero. But it's okay. The craziest thing was that when I forget what's his name. What's that guy's name? David Bett. David Bett, I think. What's his name? David Bett is his name. The podcaster. He interviewed Pippen, Scottie Pippen, and said, how many times do you guys go to lunch? And Pippen goes, 0. And he's like, Scotty, stop. And he's like, Scotty, stop. And he's like, never, ever, ever hung out with Jordan outside of practice. Like, that was wild. Like, really? You guys weren't buddies at all? Like, you didn't do anything together? Not once? Like, Jordan was he was a different person.
Yep.
Just a different cat, man.
But It's also a problem today. Like, everyone thinks everyone has to be best friends today too. Like, even with your opponents, it's like,
It's wild though.
oh,
That is so
you
wild.
it is wild. MJ's a different animal though.
Can you imagine never even like, you imagine like all the time they played together, you're like, hey, Jordan, hey, Mike, let's go. You want to go do this? Let's just talk ball. Let's go talk shop. Jordan's like, no, we'll never hang out. We'll never hang out. You'll never come over. You'll never get to know my family. I'll never invite you to Christmas. Like, that's wild. Zachariah wants to know what happened to Rice. Go watch the show, bro. Rewind. We're not gonna review it for you. It's all right there. All you have to do is drag that little bar back, watch the first 10 seconds, and then come back and tell us how it was. All right. Last words, Landman. Then I'll be back tonight. Appreciate it.
It's just disappointing with Rice. I hung with him last year, and and the year before that when Mahomes took him out with his knee and everything like that. And I was hoping to get a full season under his belt, and you just don't have a full body of work. So anyway, it is what it is. But,
yeah. All right. Appreciate you, Landman. Thanks for dropping the super chats over the whole season and everything. Appreciate you.
No worries. Take care, Travis.
Later, man.
All right. Thank you again, Hebrew Hammer, for the super chat in Rumble, the Rumble rant. Thank you, Golf, for your Rumble rant. Thank you, Hebrew Hammer, for the 20. Did I get to his 20? Massive Neighbors guy was considering him as a sick. Oh, I didn't even think I read this one yet. Hammer, are you still there? I'm sorry, Hebrew. I didn't even. I think that did I pull this one on screen? Maybe I didn't. Let me put it up here. Hold on, real quick. Hebrew Hammer dropped this $20 hauler. I think. Did I do this one, Travis?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Sure.
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
Massive Neighbors guy was considering him at the 6 this year. Thought ceiling unreal with targets. Something seems off. I'm totally love him. 6 is too high though. You're not drafting him at his ADP. So yeah, something seems off. It seems like you're not aware that everyone and their mother's doubting him, and then there are people running their mouth about stuff they know nothing about, suggesting he won't be ready for week 1 when we're literally 8.25 months away from the season. If you're trusting some injury expert pretending to be fantasy football expert versus somebody that's a fantasy football expert that is pretending to be a doctor, you want to go with the person that has the knowledge in fantasy football that's been playing doctor for over 20 plus years. But if Neighbors ends up, who is still not running or anything, by the way, he had like a cane assist when he went into the facility, and everybody was like, oh my God, he's on crutches, and he wasn't on crutches. So that was the first sign of somebody not knowing what they're talking about. But it takes a lot of time to get your knee and the gait, the swing of that gait proper. And it doesn't matter if someone's a month or a month and a half away from surgery, or even 2 months away, and they're not running, because you're not allowed to run. You're not supposed to run. Is the amount of time Neighbors has been away from his surgery, you don't want him running. You can't run. You're putting that graft at risk. It takes about. You really shouldn't technically run for 6 months to. They made me, and I'm no pristine NFL athlete, but the normal average human being, they don't let run for 9 months to a year. But a lot of these guys are on fast tracks. They got the best medicine, the best doctors, the best surgeons. But you're putting your leg at risk if you're out there cutting at 5-6 months. But look at where Diggs was, 6 months in. Look at where Javonte was 6 months in. You've got 8.25 months between now and the start of the season, and people running their mouth about Neighbors. But running their mouth about it is why you don't consider him at 6 or anything like that. Neighbors is going to fall to maybe the 3.1 with all the chatter, maybe the 2.5, 2.8, 2.7 in redraft. Who knows? But the further Neighbors falls, the less risk it is for you. And so I 100%, I mean, he's on this list for a reason.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger...
This video drops tomorrow morning, by the way, the top 5 rookie running backs. That got delayed by Rashee Rice. But anyway, what I was trying to say was that if Rice ends up missing week 1, let's say, it's not because of anything anybody knows right now. Someone's going to get lucky in the way they predicted something. We're 8.25 months away. You couldn't possibly, his own surgeon, the physical therapists that work with him every day would literally laugh in your face if you said, what's he going to be like and when? They'd be like, we don't know. You have no idea. If he suffers a setback and has to have an additional surgery, then he will not be ready for week 1. But that is not something that's on the table right now. So anybody talking about
such a long time,
you could tear your ACL right now and make it back by week 1. That's what people don't understand. You could tear your ACL right now. One of these players playing in the playoffs could tear their ACL during wild card weekend and still technically push it to be back by week 1. So can we stop with the nonsense? If there's a setback, anybody wouldn't make week 1. That's the thing that's hilarious. Is people think they're predicting, like, we don't know if he has a setback, sure, but even then I'm gonna probably buy, because a setback, and let's say he was out a couple months, Smitty, thank you, Matthew, appreciate you. Even if he ends up missing, let's say, a month, and he comes back in week 5 or 6, and he has a setback in the future and hasn't had one yet, then his value will be amazing still. You got to buy him where you draft. You got to draft him at the right spot. But anyways, to answer the question, no one should be taking Neighbors in round 1 at all. You need to feel out round 2 and see if you can get away with 3.1. Travis, anything else on the Rice front? We'll be back tonight.
Yeah, just from a dynasty standpoint, if you own Rice, it sucks because there's turmoil and his value takes a hit. But aside from that, like I said, I know it's glass half full, and I'm not a Chiefs fan. I root against the Chiefs, but in terms of fantasy, it provides an opportunity for them to actually rebuild the offense the right way, and go and be forced to go all in on that rebuild of Mahomes' weapons instead of we'll sign a guy and draft a running back late and piece it together like they've kind of been doing. I guess I think you said it earlier, but what did you say right now you would do with Rice in Dynasty? You're just holding him for now, right? Yeah, probably, bro. Probably holding. Yeah, someone said Rice is in crutches. You heard, that's what I'm saying. You heard that. You should not listen to anybody that told you that. That's the whole point. Is run away from anybody that's giving you, don't listen to people that are talking about him missing week 1. Anybody says Mahomes is not going to be ready for week 1, you need to run away from the people that are telling you that 8.25 months away from the season, they're giving you the worst advice. It might end up being true if they get lucky, but there's nothing that, if they end up being right, it's not because of anything that's in front of them right now. That's the whole point. So if anybody says that Neighbors is on crutches, he's not on crutches. Real quickly, hold on. Joker, I love Joker. He's great, bro. He's great. Is he as good as LeBron or no? But he's obviously a force, man. He's fantastic. I don't watch as much ball as I used to anymore, too. I couldn't name I could probably only name 5 guys on 10 teams. There's so much movement, I can't keep up with it. I don't even know. I couldn't even name the entire Suns roster right now. I could give you the starters, but that's it. I don't have time, and there's so much movement. Neighbors from IHOP commercial to league winner. Attaboy. And by the way, Neighbors was asked, "Are you on track?" And he said, "Yes, I am." Yeah, Mahomes will never be the same. That's an uneducated comment.
Little big man, you know you're my guy, and I know you're a big supporter of the channel, so I'm not trying to go at you too hard here, but Mahomes will never be the same.
Was Brady never the same?
I think you just
Brady blew his knee out the same time.
Just admit you're anti-KC so we can put this to bed. I don't want to hear. I don't want to sit here and tear down your take, bro. I you know. I think that's all of the super chats here that have been handled. Thank you, BBQ. Appreciate you. Thank you, Landman. Thank you, Hebrew Hammer. I got one phone caller here. Let me go over to the 843 caller. You're live as quickly as you can, pal, and then I got to jump out of here.
Maybe it'll be quick. It's the Hammer. Got to clarify something here. I was talking last year, this past season. I love Neighbors that much. At the 6, I was going to take him. I'm not talking about this coming year. I just feel like with Neighbors,
is this Husseini?
There's something like, dude.
Who is this?
This is the Hebrew Hammer.
Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, Hebrew Hammer. I'm sorry. I was getting confused.
Yeah.
First of all,
no.
Very glad you called in, pal. Appreciate you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay,
no, I was talking about this past season.
Yeah, this past season.
I was going to take Neighbors. That's how much I like Neighbors.
I got you.
There's just something about him that I feel like he could be one of the most volatile players that I don't know. I don't know if it's the attitude or I don't know. I mean, the talent.
Like he's got a pretty good attitude, I think. I mean, every wide receiver at his level has a little diva to him. I think the concern that I could say I feel like I could understand your gut instinct on was just him staying healthy. That's the only thing that I could later on look back on and go, damn it, he's just not going to stay healthy. Plays too aggressive. But he plays like Puka, and we believe in Puka not getting hurt, even though Puka gets hurt every game. We still buy into Puka. But that's the only thing. His talent level is Jamar Chase. I'm not even going to say it could be. It is. Neighbors is as good as Jamar Chase right now. But can he stay healthy? Does he have Joe Burrow? No. But Jackson Dart's probably good enough, for sure. If he gets Dable, that's a whole different, additive. I think, or not Dable, like Kubiak. Or if, I wish Dable would go back. In a way. I wish Dable would go back in a way. But that's not going to happen. But if he gets Kubiak or gets some sort of OC. But I will just say, Neighbors, it's only injury risk, really. He's in another... He's in a whole nother world, bro.
And real quick, just on like Baltimore and Lamar, for me, if I'm looking at that, I feel like I'm looking at like a Flores or something. I don't care about an offensive mind. I feel like that place just needs to just have stability. And honestly, I look at Lamar and I feel like there are issues there. Whatever, all the stuff that's come out. I mean, I feel like Flores is one of those that I think he could go in and fix that. I don't care if he's an offensive mind or not. The guy knows ball.
Yeah. Well,
that's my take. I don't think you need the best offensive mind. I mean, but I feel like you need a leader of men at some point also.
Yeah. Well. That's definitely that's a whole different topic, and I certainly love having that topic too. But as far as the Rice situation, or as far as the Neighbor situation first, and Rice, I agree that right now we need him to get healthy. Like that does feel the thing that feels off is he's recovering from an ACL tear. That's gonna feel off. But you got to remember that. If this negativity drives him into the third drafted player territory, I mean, you're baking in, even if he missed like a whole month of a season, if you draft him at 3.5, you could win a league. So, and it probably go, I mean, I'm not saying he'll be told, I'm not saying you'll be told he's missing a year, but like if he ended up, if it got dragged out and we're like, damn it, I took him at 3.5, he could literally come back in week 5 and still win you a league.
I just wanted to call and just say I was talking about this past season. I'm not talking about this season.
Yeah.
6 spot.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, just straight target volume. That's insane.
Is Rice getting suspended, Hebrew Hammer? Is he getting put on the commissioner exempt list, paid until this is over and he never plays again? Is he going to play? Is he going to be out a year? What's your prediction?
This could be a real hot take. I could see Kansas City potentially being done with it. And I know it's a talent, but if they're trying to, which could be the time to kind of flip everything, it wouldn't shock me if Kansas City and that organization did that. And, they're like, we think that we can find the talent. I wouldn't put it past Kansas City.
I mean, Tyson, Lemon, Tate, I think they're definitely going to find it there. And Veach is really good at finding talent in KC, and I think they're going to prepare for the
Lemon.
work.
I think Lemon he's by far, I just like the way he runs his routes. And I think they could get decent value, obviously, for Rice, depending on whether or not he's suspended or not.
I don't think anybody's going to take him. I don't think anybody, like, you got, this has all got to be resolved before a team even sniffs it, bro. Like, there's not a single team in the National Football League that'll even pick up the phone until this is over, and this is going to take a year or more. So they can't figure this out before these wide receivers are placed on teams. And like this, you have no time for Rice to get value back and get traded. Now, maybe like down the road, but I mean, there's
what's T. Higgins's what's his contract?
He just signed a new deal, big fat contract, 4 or 5 year deal or whatever.
So he's locked in with
He's
Chase
locked.
for the next.
Locked.
All right. I was just gonna say because looking at T, I mean, yeah, all right.
Yep, dead cap. You can't even move him if you wanted to. That's what makes JJ almost impossible to trade this offseason. But people are like, yeah, JJ's gonna get traded. Like you can't really.
That's
get
a scary situation.
It's gonna be one more year.
Right there.
JJ could get traded maybe a year from now, but trading him this offseason, while nothing's impossible, because we just saw Diggs walk into Houston and say, take away all my guaranteed money. Let's knock it down to a 1 year deal. And I even myself, I've done this for 20 plus years, bro. I was like, can he do that? Like, what did I just witness?
Yeah.
I've never seen a receiver, especially at that stature. Like, maybe something smaller happened that I don't remember, but like Diggs gets traded and he's like, take all of my guaranteed money away, put me on a 1 year deal, please. And it was what?
What's Nico Collins at right now? Is he locked in?
His contract, he'll be getting paid soon.
All right. Yeah.
But he is an unrestricted free agent in 2028. So there's a chance he could make some noise this offseason because people are doing it 2 years prior now, but it probably will be the 2027 season.
Yeah, because he did get the extension already, right? I think he signed like a 3 year extension.
Yeah,
he's a freak. He's a freak athlete.
3 years, $72 million. Yeah, so we'll probably hear about him next offseason making a fuss about an extension. So Nico will be, next offseason. Never know.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, and we're here to work. Let's get
all right,
to work.
let's do it. Appreciate you, bro. See you
All right,
tonight.
appreciate it,
Later. Oh, I just hung up on Travis again. Travis, call back real quick. I want to hear your final thoughts, and then we're out of here. Little Big Man says he was kidding about Mahomes. Okay, thank God. Josh Allen going to play his heart out. No Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow this year, says Marky Mark. That's why I have him, and I changed my mind, although I'm still wavering. But that's why I have, let's see here, right here. That's why I have the Buffalo Bills advancing. But I do have them getting knocked off by the Broncos. However, if I'm going to make a bold statement anywhere, because this is kind of a bland 1 seed, 3 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed, people always give me grief on that when I goes that route. But like, this is how I think it's going to happen. It's not that I'm trying to like just make a weird statement. I want to predict it how I believe it will happen. The only thing I could see myself changing, which is going to be a very stark change, given that I first had Jacksonville advancing and then I switched it. I could see Buffalo advancing past Denver. But Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I just feel like it could be the year for Josh Allen. I don't know. Depends on how healthy he's feeling. If they say his foot and everything's good to go, I might start toying with that. But I think Denver's so tough.
Yeah,
Travis,
I think with I picked Buffalo, obviously, you know that, and I think it's because he had a week off, and I think Jacksonville's due for a letdown. I think if Jacksonville wins this week, they're one of the toughest matchups throughout the rest of the playoffs, because you know at that point they've now won a playoff game and they're just rolling. But on Rice, I was just going to ask you, if you had a startup dynasty drafting today, where would you take Rice? Would you just not touch him?
If let's say we're drafting, and let me just put a couple players into some of these rounds. So
all the rookies in it too. Like it's a full startup dynasty league.
Yeah. So let's call. Let's see here. Let's just say I'm in the middle of the draft. So middle of the draft, we're drafting. Achane seems to fall right around there. So Achane here. Middle of the second round feels like it would probably be a player like. I mean, Neighbors. It seems like he's going to fall there. I'm going to put Neighbors there. All right, Neighbors there or whatever running back. Third round, we're talking about ETNs, Brees Halls. Maybe JJ falls there. Who the hell knows? JJ's probably going in round 2. We'll just put JJ here. But I hope you guys drive. I hope people drive JJ down in the round 2 or round 3. Pickens in round 3 potentially. Let's see here. Nico's going to go in 2. Lamb's going to go in 2. Thank God. That's going to be such a value for Lamb. Running back, Chase Brown's probably going in 1/2. Hampton in 3? Or does he go in 2? Hard to say. Like, you got to fit a lot of... Like, someone's going to get nudged down. Like, would it be... Would Hampton go? Hall, Hampton? Hampton could go top of 3. Then... Brees Hall in 3. Like, none of these are just much better bets than a Rashee Rice, of course. Okay, you get, ETN could be like 3-4. It depends where he goes. If he goes to KC, he could climb into 2. ETN could be in 3 right now. Could be in 3-4. Hendy could be in 2-ish. Kyron's going to probably go in around 4. I don't know. I mean, the way people doubt him now, I can't see him going higher.
And Dynasty, he could even go 5.
Are we talking Dynasty?
Yeah. A Dynasty startup.
Okay.
So, sorry if I
don't think no, that's all right. You probably said it. I didn't hear it. I don't think much is really changing though. So we'll put Kyron down at 5.
No, I agree. Yeah.
But Kyron would be the first one that really changes there. I'm just trying to get a feel for values.
Yep.
Higgins would be like in 4 or 5. Igbuka would be in. What do you think Igbuka goes in Dynasty right now? 4 or 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5, 5, 6, maybe, in 4 to 6 range, depending on the league.
We'll put him at 5.1. So like none of the. Let's just take Kyron out since it's Dynasty. I don't want anybody debating that one and focusing on that. Like, but I don't know about Kyron. Like, who cares? Let's move on. Okay. I don't know. I honestly like.
Well, like Olave and Garrett Wilson, would you take them over Rice right now?
Oh yeah, Olave's like maybe 3-4.
Right.
So I can't even consider Rice until I get past like this point. So I guess I'd say 5-6, but I don't even know if that will hold very long. I could tomorrow morning want to be out.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7-8, just because I always say it. I shy away from injury. I shy away from risk, and I definitely suffer and I miss out on some guys sometimes because of that. I know I do.
I guess right now I would say 6, but I think it could go to zero rounds.
Yeah.
Very easily. All right, Travis, I got to run. I'll see you tonight.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Smitty.
All right, guys. Thank you for all of your questions and everything. I'll see you all tonight. Don't forget, we'll be live tonight at midnight Eastern, like we pretty much are almost every single night. Thank you to all my super chatters. Thank you, Husseini with the $100 hauler, Husseini with a 20 wad, BBQ, Husseini, Rise Above, Husseini, Rise Above, BBQ, and 530, our new guy, Strong. Strong's one of our new people. Hey, Strong, how you liking the content? You've been kind of absorbing it the last couple days. He found us, I think, at the early part of yesterday, and he's already had how many live streams? Appreciate you, my boy. We'll be live tonight on Dynasty as well. See you all on the flip side. Make sure you get on over to the Patreon. It's a 365, 24/7 live chat group and environment. This is where it's at. You want a community, you want a family, you want 365, 24/7 conversation. There's the link. I'll pin it in the live chat. See you all on the Patreon tonight. Let me pin this bad boy right here. Let's see if I can pin this link. Hold on, guys. There it is. Link is pinned for the Patreon. And don't forget to get on over to my thefantasyfootballshow.com. I'll drop that link in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. This is my year-round content bowl predictions trade calculators. I've got 2 bowl predictions up. All the rookies. If you want to know my rookie rankings in advance, all you got to do is get the fantasyfootballshow.com membership, and you can see my rookies now. You don't even have to wait. The videos will be great, but the rankings are already up there. See you all on the Patreon. Dose. Thank you, everybody over on Rumble. Thank you, Landman. Thank you, Golf. Thank you, Hebrew Hammer. Thank you, Cake. Appreciate you. Thanks for the Rumble rant, Golf, Hebrew Hammer, and then Landman for calling in. Travis, thank you to Blackbeard, Sick Nasty, Space Ricky, Simi Valley, The Bolt, Vampy. Vampy, you out there? Vampy's my boy. Doobie, Kenny Powers. See you all tonight.